We've been posting a fair bit of content lately about the Blazar Remus Anamorphic lens set, but here's a quick video just to talk about the 35. A big thanks to Blazar for sending us this lens to have a look at. If you do have any questions that we don't address in this video, leave them down below and we will try and get to them. Some of you may know that we have just posted our review of the other lenses in this set, and we did include some footage from this lens in that review. So if you're interested in seeing more, you might want to go and check out that video if you haven't already. Since we've gotten our Blazar Remuses, they have hands down been the most requested lenses that we've had other cinematographers, directors, and production companies ask to use on shoots. But just like the other lenses in that set, we have found this lens has a really interesting look for a budget 1.5x anamorphic. The lens covers super 35mm sensors, and we have found that it nearly covers full frame, and if you're willing to do a bit of post-correction to correct some of the distortion, it actually pretty much covers 16:9 full frame. Speaking of distortion, there is quite a bit here, and it is the type that we like, barrel distortion. If it is something that you're concerned about, it is somewhat correctable in post, and depending on the sensor size that you're shooting with, you are going to see more or less of it. If you're shooting with a normal super 35mm camera, I don't think it's too bad. But if you're shooting super 35mm open gate, or with full frame or APS-H sensors, or even like a speed booster on a large sensor, you might start to see some extra funkiness, and that'll be up to you whether or not you like it. We found sharpness on this lens to be fantastic. Even wide open, we found it performs better than the other lenses in the set. That is probably because it's a wider angle lens, and it is also probably because it's a super 35mm lens. Needless to say, it is awesome to see. With the introduction of this lens, the whole set is now available with silver flares, and that just means that the color of the flares are going to be a little bit more natural because they take on the saturation from the light source that you're using. We have found that the amber and the blue lenses do still take on saturation from light sources, but they're tinted blue or amber either way. This, on the other hand, is neutral. Flaring is something that is going to be quite subjective, but both Taylor and myself typically prefer neutral flares. Just like the other lenses in the set, it accepts the same filter sizes and it has an interchangeable PL and EF lens mount. The kit comes with some shims as well if you do need to adjust your back focus, and the squeeze does remain a consistent 1.5x from minimum to infinity. Just like the other lenses in the set, we have tested it and it does work with most speed boosters that we have, as well as lens mount adapters with filters in the mount. This includes adapters like the Mofage Poco and the Mikey Variable ND PL mount adapter. Overall, with our time with this lens, we've been very impressed. Honestly, I found myself shooting on this and the 65mm all of the time, even when I'm shooting on full frame cameras. It's just pleasant. With that said, Blazar are bringing out a 33mm full frame version of this lens, and we are excited to check it out. So if you're shooting full frame, you might want to wait and just see what happens. It is probably worth remembering that anamorphic lenses do not suit every project, especially when you start looking at lenses that have a more exciting look. The point that I'm getting at here is that everyone is going to have a subjective taste, especially when it comes to a niche type of lens like anamorphic lenses. Personally, I quite enjoy something that's got a little bit more character. For reference, I've used quite a few lenses, including the Atlas Orions, the Atlas Mercuries, the Vasons, the Cirus, the Lauers, the Greatjoys, and my personal favorite set to this day is still the P&S Technic Evolution Cowers. I think that they're dreamy and they do have quite a lot of funk. These lenses are the only lenses that we've seen so far in the budget category that do have a little bit more of that funkiness. If that sounds exciting to you, the lens is available to order now, so go and check it out on their website. And if you're interested to see more content, go and check out our YouTube channel. We've been posting a fair bit with these lately.